My name is Ryan Camazetto. I am the business unit manager for architectural metals in Western Washington. I've been at McKinstry for 13 years now. My first 8 years I spent in our energy group, and the last 5 years I've been in the architectural metals group. Our mechanical side and electrical side do critical things for the building, but you can't see them. The things that we do are the things that make a building stand out. So when you look at a building, that is our work. The things that you see on the building is our work, and so it's a little bit more rewarding to look at the building and say, that's ours.
My name is Peter Averton. I am a senior project manager. A day in the life of our team is very dynamic. We're not a large department. The people in our department have a bunch of talents. We usually have a list of items in my OneNote of like what my day looks like or what my week looks like. And all those things will have to get done, but in the matter of getting my first coffee, it could change.
Architectural Metals and our team, the work we do is, with the exception of exterior curtain wall and windows, we do anything metal on the exterior of a building, which includes metal siding, composite metal siding, louvers, standing seam metal roofs, and all kinds of other miscellaneous trim and architectural pieces that you're going to see on a building.
I'm Tim Andrus. I'm with the McKinstry Arch Metals Division in Portland, Oregon. We give a building its identity. We make buildings look awesome. That's what we do.
We're here at Hayward Field and checking out the new scoreboard.
Definitely the Hayward Field has been one of my favorite projects, just because it's so unique. It was one of the most complicated projects I've ever worked on. Short timeline, tons of pressure to get this thing done, and it's something that has never been done before. Nobody in the industry has done anything quite like it. Similar, but never to the degree of difficulty that this project has had.
My name is Alex Barker. I'm a project manager for the Architectural Metals Division here in Oregon. Whenever somebody asks me what I do, probably the best way to summarize it is if it looks cool and it happens to be made of metal, that's something that we'll do. When the project gets turned over to me, a lot of my job is trying to digest the project, like getting to become an expert on my scope, and then figuring out what the schedule is, the manpower that we'll need, figure out my budgets to a T. And we start shop drawings as well, and so my foreman and I are heavily involved with the shop drawing process.
We have these circular structures on the roof. They're known as RU structures here on the project, the roof utility enclosures. And McKinstry, we're the ones that put the metal panels on the outside.
It was complicated, but thankfully with our crew, the guys that we have down there, they're just amazing. They just killed it. We couldn't have done it without them, honestly.
As soon as you come down the street, this is like the first thing you see, killer looking scoreboard.
I've really enjoyed working on the Seattle Children's Hospital. I did the Forest B edition, which was a challenging project from the start. We went through COVID. We transitioned the entire project through COVID. But mostly it sits right near the top of my favorites just because of the variety of stuff that we did on it. We had pieces that were custom, we had pieces that we had to order. We wound up doing interior work, medical equipment vendors, things that I wouldn't have never have guessed. We built column covers, we put in louvers, we color coordinated the soffits. That was a very satisfying project.
Some of my favorite projects have been the Seattle Center Arena, Climate Pledge Arena. We got to do some really cool things on that project. We built the plenums that move the air in and out of the building. Big plenums, 20 feet wide by 7 feet tall on both sides of the building, all in insulated metal panels.
Here on the atrium, we did the standing seam metal roof, and we also provided some of the metal panels on the exterior behind the canopies. I think this project is a good example of how we both purchase materials from fabricators that the architect specifies, but we can also fabricate things in-house that are too custom, that are not off-the-shelf products.
McKinstry has an interesting niche with the architectural metals world. Every commercial building is going to have flashing, every commercial building is going to have louvers and various other things that McKinstry would do. But where we fall in the special niche is that we like to take on the wildest and craziest ideas that architects come up with. Something you see on a building that makes your jaw drop, that is something that McKinstry will take on, of course, if it's made of metal. Not to mention we have the most skilled team that I can, fathom.
What change would I like to most inspire? I'm sort of an atypical construction worker, and I'd like to see more people from, different walks of life, different skill sets, different backgrounds come into the construction zone. It's not an easy job, but it is one of the most rewarding jobs that you can do.
We thrive on the more difficult, more challenging, more technical projects. That's really where we shine. We really feel that in our group. We're a small, tight-knit group in architectural metals, just about a dozen people between Seattle and Portland in the office, and then about anywhere between 40 and 80 people in the field. We're kind of a small, tight-knit group. So we take care of each other, and we help each other out, and we put people first.